You might very well be playing Augusta wrong. The last time I made a video like this was 4 months ago, and it was Zani. I don't make guides often. I only make them when it's a character I really like or a character that's complex enough to warrant a guide, in my opinion. I think Augusta is one of those characters. She's got a lot of intricacies and some like tricky little rotation things you got to pay close attention to. If not, it kind of scuffs it. And she's just overall got layers of complexity to her kit. She's got 3 different ultimate meters. She's got a sentience meter, a literal time stop ultimate meter, and then a radiance meter. And you have to like be on top of these things and when you need to cast them. She's also got some quick swap things that you got to look out for as you're in the middle of rotation. There's a number of things, but ultimately I just strive to show you guys what I have learned. I think she's performing very well considering that I am using her without Yuno, which is easily her peanut butter and jelly half. So without further ado, let me show off this showcase just so you guys can get a gist of what my experience was with her. And then we'll walk you over some of the goals and tips that I will recommend as you're playing this character. But yeah, enjoy it. I'll see you in a bit.
Roars of conquest! In control. Undying glory!
Leave it to me. Loading. Steadying war with time.
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. As you wish.
Fight! Stand tall! For the eternal sun! Yeah. Yeah. One strike is enough! In control. Roars of conquest! Sing of my
Oath from the heart. Loading. Diminish. Astral modulation.
Fury boils. Feel my wrath. Inferno. What a glimmer. Let's do this another way.
All blood! Chrysanthemum! Yeah! Yeah! My valor never fails!
All right, real quick, let's go over the builds just so you guys have that context available. I'm going up against Lampy Lumen because there's no elemental advantage for Augusta on this one, whereas in the middle, you have the elemental advantage of Electro decrease by 10%. So that's just something important to disclose. In terms of the team, this is what we're rocking. We've got Augusta with her signature weapon, but you may have already heard the signature weapon ain't really that crazy. It's only 12% a main stat right here. You do get some defense ignore, you do get some attack increase, but if you have Gion's Verdant Summit, you can totally use that instead. But I got this purely for aesthetic purposes because, bro, there's no way I'm using her without this weapon. It just looks too amazing. Now, in terms of the set, we're rocking a 3-piece crown, which is our best in slot, with a 2-piece electro. I'm rocking crit rate main stat, of course. The pieces aren't entirely crazy. There's definitely some stats missing. You want to go for crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge, attack percent, and heavy attack damage. That's like a perfect 5 substats. But if you look at these, I'm rocking double electro main stat on her, and then I'm rocking attack. The reason I'm rocking double electro main stat is because she actually has a kit that gives her a pretty decent amount of attack percent. You're also rocking more Teffy with this set that gives even more attack percent, and then his E6 gives more attack percent on top of that. So she's got plenty of attack percent in my personal opinion, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I don't really sit down and like jot these fucking math numbers down anymore. I hung that up a long time ago. I guarantee you the damage difference is very tiny. So you can rock 1 electro, run attack percent, or double electro. That's up to you. Anyways, that said, that's my Augusta build. She's missing a little bit of investment here. She's level 9, and then she's missing these 2 right here, and then yeah, she's missing a little bit of investment. It's not that big of a deal. She's E0. My shorekeeper's E1. This is almost like it's not useless, but it's very QOL induced. It just extends the amount of time that her ultimate lasts. It makes it a little bit wider. But in my rotation, you'll come to find out you can get rid of that. It wouldn't make a difference. You've also got this in her investment. Remember, this is usually like, or I'm sorry, this is the most important one for her doing damage. Pretty standard shorekeeper build. And then you've got more Teffy, who's at E6. The real highlight here is the supportive set, of course. He's not really fully invested in. And then, of course, this is the highlight, the cadenza. This makes your rotations just so much more easier with more Teffy. You might be trying to go for this because you're like trying to do more damage with him, and that's cool. I get it. Even I like doing that, but way easier, bro. As you can see, I'm using a level 60, bro. It's not even like fully invested in, and this shit is just buttery smooth. So that's what I recommend with more Teffy when you're playing this comp, and it'll feel a lot better, especially if you're skipping Yuno. Oh, and I almost forgot, her energy recharge in terms of comfort, it'd be better if you had it like a little bit higher, maybe 125, maybe 130, somewhere around there. But as you could see in that showcase, I was able to get it done no problem with 116. So I don't think she needs an insane amount of ER. It just depends on your personal preference of comfort of getting that that purple ultimate up. All right, we got all that out the way. Now let's get into the rotations, the things you want to look out for, what you're managing, all the good stuff. All right, so I'm gonna walk you guys through just a couple of need to knows before we go over the footage, the showcase footage, and explain to you the rotations. Quick little tangent though, when the fuck are they going to add in a proper tutorial mode where we can actually, you know, tweak our ultimate meters, put 2 more characters in the party, and give off a proper tutorial guide? Like, dear God, the game's been out for a fucking year. Pull your head out of your ass, Kudo Games, and get and lock in. All right. Okay, sorry guys, sorry you had to deal with that. As you know, Smack's guides are always a bit unconventional. W crash out in the middle of it. Let's get back to it. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want you to know. First of all, this little sword right here, right? This is her time stop ultimate meter. And there's only 2 ways to fill this up, or I'm sorry, only 1 way actually. And that is filling up this sun meter to cast her enhanced skill. And then the other way, which is very important in terms of rotations, concerto meter outro with Augusta into the next character. And you have to make sure that next character, when they get swapped out, their concerto meter is up as well. It's very important, guys. Okay, thank God they let you go in here and take a look at the stats. The reason it's important is because of her outro skill and how it functions, okay? So you're able to get 1 stack of Majesty and 1 stack of Crown of Wills. Crown of Wills is going to give you a 15% electro damage bonus, but this stack here is so important to rotations because what it does is it allows you to get 1 Majesty stack, and that is one of the stacks of that sword time stop ultimate meter down there. But there's a caveat. If you switch a character out that you outroed into from Augusta and they didn't fill up their concerto meter, it ends this buff immediately. This is a buff, right? The buff is, Augusta's a greedy bastard with this buff, actually. Okay, Augusta goes, my buff is, you're gonna buff me. Shit is funny. But what I mean by that is, when Augusta gets outroed out, she puts this buff on the next person, and that person has to then concerto into another person. That triggers the Majesty buff being given to Augusta. That's pretty much how it works. So it's easy to screw that up in a rotation because if you're just having you're in the flow, you're having a good time in combat, you can like swap into a like, I don't know, a shorekeeper, and then you swap back with like the other character. That swap back shit don't work. Not with Augusta's buff. If you swap it back, it kills the buff and she never gets the Majesty stack. So then when you go back to her, you never got that second part of her ultimate needed to cast her ult. It scuffs the whole run. Hopefully that makes sense. Just know, whenever you outro out with Augusta, whoever the fuck is coming in next, don't swap them off the field until their concerto's up. TLDR, do not until their concerto's up. So getting back to it, there's only 2 ways to fill that ultimate meter up. Once again, using enhanced skill, and then the way I just explained to you with her outro skill. And you need to do both ways. Now, how do you do the enhanced skill? That's going to be the sun meter right here. You got to fill this shit up. And I'm going to be honest, it takes some filling up, boys. I ain't going to cap. So the meter above it is called the sentience meter. Easiest meter to fill up. Just auto attack, and you can fill it up. See, now it's up. And now you can do this, which allocates towards the sun radiance meter. But you can just do a skill and it fills that meter up entirely, right? And so those are the two ways to do it. Also, keep in mind the sentience meter, you can either uppercut or you can do that dash that you saw me do. The goal here is to fill up this Sun Radiance meter to cast her enhanced skill. Once you do that, one sword is already filled up. The next step from there is just Concerto meter, fill it up, and then swap her off. Because now you've checked off both options for when you come back to her from a Mortefi outro. She's got her ult already locked and loaded to fire off. Now that that's understood, that's a very important clear goal to get done when you're doing your Augusta rotations. Number one, enhance skill to get one majesty stack, and then the final majesty stack is going to get fulfilled by doing the outro out. And by the time you go from Mortefi back into Augusta, you've got your heavy attack damage bonus from Mortefi. You've got both of these stacks of the majesties up to where now you can go straight into her time stop ult and maximize all of the buffs. So that's clear objective number one. But there's something we want to focus on as well, and that is filling up this damn sun meter in the middle, because this is a pain in the ass to fill up. And that's where the sentience meter comes into play, as well as your regular skill and her regular ultimate, which we'll get into that as well. The thing is, when you do regular attacks, sentience meter gets filled up, right? All the way up just from one full sequence of her basic attack. Now you can uppercut with spacebar, right? Boom. That's one way of using up the sentience meter. Or let me just do this because you can fill it up with just bypassing casting skill as well. Or you can hold down heavy attack and then go over there for this one. I actually like the uppercut better. It's a bit more smooth in terms of like getting through the rotations. This one, sometimes it just goes too far away or you cancel it. Like, I like the uppercut better. This just feels so much better. You come back down into a plunge, it gets shit done. Regardless, that's how you fill up this meter down here. It's filled up right now, as you can see. And then the ultimate is how you fill it up as well, which is very important. Now, once this meter is filled up, you have enhanced skill available. This is the other way I was telling you to get a majesty stack. The very important thing you want to do here is this is a quick swap friendly thing. Boom, quick swap her off right before she plunges and go into the next character just to save yourself some time. It's very important. So now we have both majesty stacks up. Our ultimate is ready to cast. There's a little like nuance to this ultimate that I want to point out. You saw beforehand that it was a purple ore attached to it. Now it's like a purple gold. All that means is both your ults are up. The purple ult and the freaking majesty stacks ult right here. This is very important because you don't want to like screw up things that are happening right now. There's a couple of like intricacies that are very important. One, my Concerto meter is up. So this is like why I don't like their tutorial mode currently, because I would have liked to have shown you guys that I'm going to use up this Concerto meter, go through my rotation, come back, and now the Concerto meter is empty. When it's empty, it's very simple. When I come in from Mortefi, I'm just going to pop my fucking ult, right? I'm going to pop off here, do my ult, do the whole thing, and then I'm going to cast. Soon as I'm done here, I go straight into purple ult, right? See the purple ult still up? I go straight into that. Boom, boom, boom. And then I go straight into skill, into uppercut. And I'm already working on that next enhanced skill getting filled up, right? I'm already working on it. As you can see, the sun meter is about to be filled up right here, right? Boom, boom, boom. This is how I complete my rotation. Before I swap over to Shorekeeper, I'm getting one majesty stack filled up with this shit right here. Boom, come back down. One majesty stack is filled up. Concerto's filled up. Now I can swap over to Shorekeeper. And don't get me wrong, you can do a bit of swap backing in between with your team as you're doing this. You just have to be very micromanagey with not ruining people's Concerto swappings because of how picky Augusta is. That's like the very important thing about her kit and the rotation. So with that understood, I think now that you have at least a little bit of context, when we go into the showcase and walk you through what I'm doing, it'll make much more sense. All right, let's try and walk you guys through this. So one of the things I didn't show you in the tutorial is that her purple ult, which is right there at the bottom right-hand corner, it's swap out friendly. And that's the first thing you want to do. At least it's the first thing I do, because as soon as you use your ult, you can already start building it back up by casting all of these subsequent abilities. And so in my mind, getting rid of that ult is very important, right? So as soon as we start battle, boom, not only do I spam ult I immediately used the skills of both Shorekeeper and Mortef to start pre-working on both of their concerto meters as well. So it's like, as you can see, I've already used in the blink of an eye all of Shorekeeper's abilities, and now I'm swapping over to Mortef. Boom, and I'm using both of his abilities. Right? Actually, I messed up there. I didn't use the bird. You can use the bird, and then by the time you go back to Mortefi, the bird will be back up. But I'm going to be doing a lot of rewinding. That's to help you guys out because I'm doing it so damn fast, bro. I'm fucking spamming keyboard. So I swap over to them after casting ult, and then I make sure to go right back over to Augusta to be just in time to dodge this attack. The reason I dodge with Augusta is because dodges add to filling up her concerto meter, right? So like dodging with her is just going to help fill her meter up faster. It's a long and difficult battle filling up her concerto meter. I even like view it as a bit of a like flaw. So any like thing you can use to fill up that concerto meter, which is going to be right here in case the jargon's getting to your head, I'm going to go for it, right? So we dodge, boom, and we start just working on skill, dodge, auto attack, skill, dodge, auto attack. I use a little bit of echo in there. That echo's still a little wonky for me. I'm still figuring it out. And then we time the parry here. But the whole thing we're doing right now is we're just working on filling up all of her goddamn meters, right? The concerto meter is now filled up. However, we need to fill this shit up here too. Why? Because if we can the first time, thanks to the tower giving me a free meter here, I actually don't have to wait on this. I could already go over to my next characters, and because the majesty stack and the way it functions, like I explained to you tutorial, all I got to do is switch over to Shorekeeper, make sure her concerto's up before I switch over to Mortef, and I get that free stack here. In fact, that you can even look at this as a bit of a flaw in my rotation. I could have saved this for the next time, the next part of the rotation. I actually fucked up here because I waited and then I just used it. I wasted it. Oh no, I wasted it right here, guys. Damn, it's funny watching this back. I could have saved that for my next rotation, and my next rotation would have been so much more buttery smooth. It is what it is. You live and you learn. But now watching this footage back, like, reminds me of high school, college basketball, studying film. I know now what to do next time. So we swap back over to Shorekeeper, pop her ultimate. Her concerto's already up, and then we swap over to Mortefi. That would have given me my second Majesty crown, and I would have saved myself that enhanced skill for the next rotation. But yeah, we go ahead, we pop his ult, we skill, boom, skill, boom, and then we swap the bird. This is very important. A lot of people mess this up, especially if you're a newbie in Wuthering Waves. When you swap over to Mortef, make sure you hit that bird as the very last thing you do before swapping over to Augusta, so the bird gives the buff, the concerto boost, and all that good stuff. So it's skill, dodge, skill. I hit the bird, right? Look at that. I hit that bird, it jumps up into the air, and then I'm swapping over to Augusta right here. And now the bird lands and I pop my ult simultaneously, which is really nice. And keep in mind, guys, the time on the clock, even in the TOA, is completely stopped right here. So you can like fuck around, like tap it at a slow pace, which is kind of what I was doing. And I'm gonna show you right after this, we go straight into purple ult cast, right? Look at this purple ult cast. And this is where I said I fucked up, because if I would have saved my enhanced skill, I could have went straight into my enhanced skill right here. It would have filled up my concerto much faster, and the rotation would have been much smoother. So like, you live and you learn. That means I can get an even faster clear time with this team. It is what it is. But yeah, once again, straight into purple ult. After purple ult, straight into this enhanced sentience cast uppercut. And then I'm working on filling up that damn meter that would have already been filled up. It is what it is. Not too much time. So enhanced skill, and then cinema intro in with Shorekeeper, because keep in mind her ult was activated during that background phase that entire time. So we cast it, ding, 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 and then we're going back into the rotation. That's pretty much that. We're waiting on the ult. So this is how you know the rotation went very well. I like introed in with Shorekeeper, and her ult's still on cooldown. Look, it's 5 seconds left on the cooldown. And so at this point, you got a little time to kill, 5 seconds to kill to be exact. We can just fill up her concerto meter in the meantime. And then as soon as that ult comes up, pop it. It'll finish the rest of that concerto meter to where we can go right back into Mortefi. pop his ult. Same exact concept, right? Skill cast. This dude jumped in the air, kind of tried to scuff my run. Bird in the air, go back into her. Pause time. GG's. Absolute cinema finish. And so that's how that works. That's a 57-second clear time, by the way, guys. And keep in mind, 57-second clear time without the Yuna, I'm going to be honest. And there's no buffs. There's no Tower of Adversity advantage, except it's given to Mortefi, who has a cadenza on. I think she's going to be freakishly strong with Yuna. And I can't wait. The sun and moon cinema, like synchronization. Oh my. If I got a 57-second clear time with this team, it's probably going to be something like I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? But it's probably going to be like a 40-second clear time with I look forward to that, but that's going to wrap up my Augusta guide. I hope I brought you guys some informative insight that you can use with your Augusta teams. Peace, love, and happiness. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.